everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here with the artist battle for Boys Planet. We are going to be looking at the dance practices of each of these routines, and then I'll be looking at the episode to see the full version, see how they did there. I am so excited for this. I hope you guys are too. Let's go ahead and get into it. First up, over me, over me. Smexy boys. Good competition. That was a cool progression. Okay. Come on, with the back arch. Cool. Yeah, that's exhausting. Whew. And they have to hold it too. Good for them. Okay, so we're going to analyze this. And then I do know they have full versions of these routines. I think for the sake of making this the highest chance possible of getting on YouTube, I'm just going to do the dance practice. And then, of course, you'll see me react on the episodes for Boys Planet whenever I get to that. Okay. From the top, I really like this. I think the composition works very well for the track. The only component that I don't have to factor in is how each of these groups performed live, right? So if we're just going from a dance standpoint and how they performed here, they did very well. Usage of props is really nice too. So from the top, subtle head on it, grabbing. It does, what is it? It feels like, I don't know if it's an elastic or a ribbon or anything like that, but I like the snaking on that to have some opposition going on with your first feature. They go and they shoot and send the... I'm going to say that's an elastic. That's what I kept trying to figure out. There, of course, range could subtly improve because some of our guys are going above and some are fully extending, but it creates a subtly different line. It just depends on who you look at, but they got the range on that really nice, meaning that you hit up and then how they rotated it around looks great. So they hit it through and low, and then they end up doing a little snap, so they have it nice and loose, and then they have a snap effect, which is cool. I like that we were able to hear it here, transition out of it, little body rolls. Nothing crazy there, but then we have it tied around the neck. Okay, tease. I do think costumes will play a role too in the seductiveness of it. So they do a little toss going on there. They cross, uncross, they knock it. Then we have a nice little hand warming up vibes right here. They said, oh, please, you know, that kind of vibe. And I like the lean back on that too. Looks great. We rotate. And I like that we have a little thread around and then we knock it with the pop. So that was cool to see there. Then he has a little trace down the neck, a little teasy moment. They knock the rebound going on with the elbows to help reset up. Then we have the arms that go high-low. They go, whoom, come on, head. And then we have the arm. We present it through. I like the punch, the tension on that with a nice accent on the end. And then he has a little moment, little bounce. Bounce is also nice to see there. Then we cross up. And I like that we have our previous feature. He takes his arms up by the head, and then our secondary feature in the back. He has a little embellishment. Everybody else does the same thing. I like the delegation of that. Cool. And then we move over to the side. Come on now. Walk, walk, new spot. We take it to the eyes, to the mouth. We go, we settle it. I like that we knock it low. And then you have your feature over on the stage right side. Nice. He is separated, but he can still easily join back into the group, no problem. And then we go high, low. And I like the different levels on that. Notice the tension, boom, with this rotation around. Really nice to help cater to different levels. Then they go do a nice little ripple, starting with your feature that just finished up over on that stage right side. He starts, everybody else joins back in. Nice way to get your feature involved with the group again. So they melt down, and I like that they started the ripple from that previous feature to help our eye navigate over to the stage left side where your new feature is going to be. So I like the aiding of the dynamic that helps us as an audience not feel like we're always looking for where's Waldo in the routine. We know exactly where just from peripherals and from context of a dynamic. That's why they're there. That's why we use them, is to help guide your audience. And I like the knock on that, the throw, the toss of the fringe, tells all. Love that. So I like that he takes it down, they take it over, and then you have this tension. Really nice how they carry that over through the sound is really cool. They turn out of it, which is nice. They toss it, they go and reset. There's the head. Come on, fullness. We love that. Still have your feature in front. They knock high, low, fire. Then we have tension. Boom, we toss it. Ball change. We hit it over. I like that. Once again, that huge knock with the head is really full from both sides. So it would make sense if it was just one person, but having both really helps make it more captivating, and it doesn't feel overly forced because you have it balanced in the fullness of the choice. Really nice. So they do a nice little shoulder. They press it to reset into a V, the subtlety of the arm, and then we toss it. And then you have every other, where you have your feature plus 2 on the outside. They take their arms a little bit higher, and then you have 2 of your former features. I mean, everyone was featured, right? And then 2 of your others who are next to your feature, they go across the waist. So that was nice. So they do a little sweep, and then they prep it, little pony. As we transition it to a diagonal, we hit it, and then we switch it off. So I like this, the shift going on with the leg on that, which is cool. Ripple! And then we have that, boom, that dropout. The dropout's really, really cool, and so you have to be mindful. Choreographically, how are you wanting to recognize the dropout? Because you don't want to do too much, and you don't want to ignore it either, unless that's what your concept is, which it's not. So I'm very appreciative of the choices they made here, because it allowed me to really appreciate and rest in the absence of sound, so it's more impactful in that first course. So it goes da da, so it goes hit hit hit. So we have tension, right? We're still moving, but we're not doing anything that's promoting a focal point. We're just moving suspended in the air, and then the sound gets brought back. We have the arm here, same thing there. We're finishing out the move. This isn't really going on anything. It's going on the flow. It's like a residual effect from the moves that you did before. The fixed point turn on, that's really nice, super cool. I would be impressed if he's able to do that live, singing through it on stage, which for Boys Planet, the answer is yes, you have to do that. So having everybody else drop low, then we pull down. Head is really nice. The fullness of the heads on this are really well done. That over me, little body roll. It's subtle. It's more isolated to that upper body. Looks great. So then we drop down, new feature, and we end up doing that. This like rebounded or reversal sense that we're hearing. I love that we have these arms that feels like we're retracting. That's a better word. A retracting sense. Oh, so cool. Love that. And then we do a little pull from the knees. We were going to body roll it. I don't think we made that choice fully, but we hit it really nice fullness to present. Feels like the energy is scooping through our body, not traveling through a legato, but or like a body wave, but having it like a big ball that we're just avoiding as we're accenting up. Super cool. Then we reset. Come on, with a knock. Boom, nothing. Boom, head. Then we look to the front. He said, over me. Boy, howdy. Look at that tension. Come on now. He says, come on now. Yep. We twinkle, twinkle, and we look away. Nice. And he says, cross, uncross. He tosses that arm up, and he tosses it away, and I like that we have somebody else coming from the back, and then he goes and appears for your new feature. And I like the twinkling in, and then he tosses him to the side, and we cross, unwind, and we hit that boom. I love that, where it's more of a harmonious fit there with the partnering. And I like the actual touching and the grabbing that helps make it look more believable, which is what you want to have. Nice little, this was super dope. It goes, oh, where it builds vocally, it was built physically, where it started with your inside, then it had your two and the right next to that inside, and then your two most outside. So I think it went chest to knees here, right? Chest to knees. Yeah, the whole thing is nice. And then you have your outlier feature come from the back. Everybody else drops the lower level, which is really nice. Come on. And then we bleed it to the other side, meaning that we have it, we pick it up and reset. And then a really good trace across. That move, to me, doesn't really go out of style. I love it. It's a really nice way to have your lower level do something without taking away, but also creates a really nice choice dynamic. You're touching the floor and you're tracing. It's nice. Then you have your feature up. It's a different level. So that's kind of your go-to, is we're dropping everybody a lower level and then your feature's up at the top. Nothing crazy there. Don't fix what ain't broke, especially if how you're packaging it doesn't feel overly redundant. It's fine. So I like that we have a little fix of the leg. We end up taking it in. We bring it in and out. It's a little swivel, which is cool. Then we bring it to the other knee. We grab. We have two of our guys pop up. And then we have others slowly pop up based on his pattern and direction that he's walking. That was really cool, which is also nice. The bleed up is cool. The turn is really nice. I do believe that was supposed to be unison, which is what we'll consider. Then we hit it over. They hit. Accent down, we do a wrist rotation up and around, and then we kick that leg and we hit boom to the ball change, drop the level, twinkle the finger in, then we end up twisting. So all of that, I would assume, has a subtly different timing pattern because it's not dropped out the same way that the first course was. But that little fixed point turnover is something similar we've already seen. Over me, everyone's all facing same way, their same level, nothing crazy there. That over me, it feels like everyone's supposed to be singing that, so it makes sense that everybody's focused there. Then they drop low, the pull, and they end up, there's that boom, crash sound that we hear. I like that we're recognizing it through our choices and our textures. Really nice. Then we knock it, that all of that works well. Why? Because it's similar to what we already saw, but the reason why it doesn't feel the exact same is because we're not operating on two distinct different levels. We're now navigating with different directions. So you have everybody except your feature facing one way and then your feature's facing the other, versus your feature's the only one on one level and everybody else is a lower level. So I like the fact it's literally the don't fix what ain't broke, where you're going to do the same choreo, but your dynamic or your direction or your formation is different. So they're rebalancing this choice in a different way, not just changing the choreo and getting a different choreo every course. Sometimes that may not be beneficial depending on the circumstance. This is a competition, right? And so less is more sometimes, or learning how to work with it is beneficial. So I would say the choreography team on this did a very good job on redelegating to maintain balance without overkilling them on any one component. It's nice. We reset over me, and we have this little moment where we keep on, I don't know, pulling a dagger out of our bodies. It definitely feels like we've gone through a couple divorces, right? So this hinge back, come on, feature moment. I love this twinkle moment too. It's really nice. They all move away. They have their ribbon elastic from, they picked it up. Really nice transition from it. I like that we end up having the same reverb. Is really cool. So how they both have to use their reverb is with my front, he has to use more of his torso to create the look, and then your back is going to be using his legs to make the look, because you have to think about what is the thing that is showing to the 2D perspective of it in order to have that reverb take place, in order for the range to match. Because your front feature, he's leaned over more, that is what's going to look and match what the leg is here. Because if you had your back feature reverb front back like this, you wouldn't read it the same way. So that's why you wanted to match here in terms of the plane that you're operating it from, which is cool to switch off there. I like that sound where we bring the arms, bring it out in, which is also nice to switch over there with the head. Come on now. We twinkle the hands in and we go tension, and we snap it. Come on. I see that. Twinkle, twinkle. And then we have a little bleed up is also nice. We roll out of it. And he goes rotation, drop it. Come on now. And then we all grab, and I like that we have it all matching the music. We're not just grabbing to set up. Every moment has a moment. We see it happening. We see the prop transition take place. Thank you for making it a moment instead of just making us be distracted by it. So that was cool. You have your feature. He's nice and low. I'm assuming he got the killing point. I don't remember who gets the killing parts for what. Very rarely do I actually remember. So I'm assuming based on the amount of times we're seeing him, I'm assuming he got the killing part there. I think the only person I remember, I think, is Ganuk, because they pulled a prank on him about his killing part. So that's the only one I think I would remember. And that's for En Garde, right? Anyway, so the lift up's fun. He does a little trace across. He says, oh, hi there. Then we have a little moment right here. And we lift, intermingle, intertwining. Another little elastic. Here we go. And we create tension, tension, tension. Come on now. And this right here looks like we don't fully roll through the ball of the foot to the heel. So I was going to call it bedrock, but I don't know. I think it's just a twist with balls of the feet and the heels. High note is really nice, but then I like the speed change. 1, 2, tension. Then we speed it up. Really nice. And then we create nice directions where you have half your group facing one way and half bleeding it out. So that's a mirror right there. And then, of course, you have your feature, living his best life on stage right. Very nice. We pull it. So our life would go high, low, and then we hit it, present that leg, reset it, we kick, and then we get ready. We hit, boom. Come on, tension to the other side. Really nice. And we go heel to heel. More tension on that. He set a little head nod because I just hit that high note. You're welcome. Love that. Point is cool. So they punch out and then they send themselves down. There's a sound that matches that boom, that wind down. So I like that we have movement that literally shows that. Then you have your next feature. He's up. Then they accent up. This move right here. Oh my gosh. That's from Wolf EXO. I cannot unsee that. But anyway, I love it. It's cool. They switch it up. So then we have a little head. We roll on our bottom. Features on the back. Then we have a head to trickle and move our bodies to the inside. And then we reset low. And then everybody's speed changing with some snaking here. Snaking the crown of the head, just like a snake. And then you have your feature. He's up. And I like that he's knocking them, boom, with his shoulders. And then we create, not really a dime stop or a strobe or anything like that. It's just interruptions. 2 interruptions to get up. And then we sit back. I think that was probably 3 interruptions. That's fine. Little body rolls are nice. Nice with our fingers all the way bleeding through. We appreciate that. Then we hit it out, and then we pull it all the way through. And then we have some over me. So I like that we're rotating it to the inside. And then we have nice fullness, boom, that full rigidness of that. And then the pick up of the leg, and we pull it around. Come on, head. And there's more tension where we're putting it on the standing leg, and then it's causing that hinge around. Then we have more energy on that. We hit to unhit on that, which is nice. Then we reset. I like the knock, doom, with the elbow. Over me. Then we have a little twinkle twinkle right there to the heart. So that's nice. Boom. Way to go, guys. So in general, very, very, very strong start from my 5 routines that we're going to be seeing here. this one I would see as a contender, not just from the composition side. Based on everyone we've seen here, they are all very consistent on stage, so that really helps. And then a lot of them are popular on the voting side, so there's a chance you have a lot of that working for them here. I can definitely see them pull a top placement. Next up, Say My Name. That's cute. Oh, that gimmick visual is fun. Nice. Look at him go, doing something not smexy. I see at least, I mean, is everybody in this group in the final lineup? I know at least 4. There's one of them that I'm like, maybe? I don't know. We'll marathon Zero Base 1 in due time, but I know a few of them are in the final lineup. But I don't know the order. Cute. Nice. Cute. Oh, and they all presented little hearts. Look at them go. I can see this one as another contender for top placement for the same reasons that I gave the first group. I also know with both of these groups that we have talked through this far, I'm about to talk through this one, they only lost members. They did not have to reteach, if that makes sense. Like, I know most of you guys know this already, but they didn't have to reteach anybody anything. They just redelegated, but everyone was super familiar with the track, so both teams have an inherent advantage. I do think maybe one other, was it En Garde maybe, that had that same one? The one at the biggest disadvantage was Supercharger, which I'm excited to actually see because I've heard that one's really good. I heard all of these are great. And so far, I would agree with you. I mean, all of these choreographically are very strong. Definitely sets the groups up for success in terms of presentation. Now, they have to be the ones, of course, to sing and be able to showcase that performance and stage presence on stage, but at least in the dance practice space we see a lot of potential for great moments. So I love this whole progression where the shoulder shrugs, he ends up knocking my next member up on the shoulders too, so I like that progression with the travel through. There's your shoulders and now he's in the front, he goes ang, The grabs are fun, and we end up doing like a little ball change with more weight on that left side. 1 and a 2 and a 3 as we travel it up. And they say, go say my name. High note, they say up, let's frolic around. Let's go. Out, in. The travel from the outside to the inside with just the switch off's really cute there. He says hello. He goes, just say my, into a Bernie, which I find to be quite funny. I think that's cute. Tap that heart. He says up, let's go. And then we do a little point out of it. Oh yeah. And we switch it up, boom, boom, with the legs is really nice. We pull it to the inside, which is also nice. They pull it in, and I like the upbeatness of the lifting, where how we're bouncing. It's the opposite whenever you see people be more grounded in that more hip hop side. But here, it's not really hip hop. It's just movement. It's cool. The lift up there, but you do see some hip hop inspired movement. But we're not going to call it the style. I think what we ended up doing there. Yeah, we just do a little toe. No, ball of the foot, heel, just do a little twist to the side. Not really cater to anything. I like the little knock on the shoulder. The point is fun. We rotate. I like the lift up there. The little pick up. So the drop, ha, really nice. And honestly, this type of routine is really tricky to do very simply because you cannot look tired. You cannot show people you're tired. So good luck trying to not look tired. This is an exhausting routine for 3.5 minutes. Yeah, this stuff feels like a sprint, but you gotta smile through the pain, which can be really hard. So I like that he trots away, which is nice. Come on, little Millie rock. And they said, come on, let's go. Little pass off partnering into a shoot. So from the choreo side, it's very playful. A lot of the movements that we're doing are very, not viral based, but definitely have a sense of gimmick to them, which does work well because they're committed to it, and it allows me as an audience member to want to commit to it myself. So the shoot is really cute. They point, like the little head nod on that. He has this moment, he gets pushed away. That moment right here is everything. We love that. I stand moments like that always. That's so awkward in the best way possible. And I like the switch off there where you have your feature over on the side, everybody on the diagonal here, and the switch with the head, and then we cater our weight from one side to another with the twist of the heels. Looks great there. And we wrist rotate, and we roll the arms, and we head nod, let's go. He says, oh, we love that. And we drop it low. He goes, point, and then we walk to a new spot. He goes, intertwine, we're cute, we're here for it. And then we have a little heart here. He says, okay, and we go, and we lift the heart, and it explodes. That was adorable. And I like the readability of it, where you knew exactly what was going on, from the individual who was pumping it to those who exploded it. Yes, I know their names, but I'm trying to make it blanket statement of not giving anybody name stuff. We'll reserve that for when we see them in their groups or in the episodes. But I really like these choices. And then I like the swing of the arm. They take the arm up, out in, pas de bourrée, and the pick up through. And then we end up doing 2 swing backs with the elbows is nice. And they bring it over, trot down. They clap, present. We love it. And we go, just do a subtle, just little switch off with some of our members to get to our next spot. Looks like back to a V. Say my name. Then there's our little trot with a heart. We're here for it. And we turn out of it. Then we switch it 1 and 2. And definitely feels like, not a nene. You've seen these kinds of like dribbly movements before with the switch off of the weight. Hit, and then we have our arms. Yeah, all that. A lot of times you would see it with a way more swagger-based context, but it actually works quite well here because of the hands and how they're placing up. So it's kind of like, why, more so like that, which is cool. They swing the arms is also nice, so that goes out in. Notice a little reverb out of it. Then they take it out, and I like the little toss also coming out from there. They have it over, trot and a trot. Weight shifts are really nice. He mixes it in, and then he presents out. The claps are nice. We pick up. The legs are really nice. And we swivel it through. Notice we created an opening in the torso to make that happen. We switch up the arms, out, in, we trot it, and then we finish it out. Your feature there in that moment, they end up going, I think like just scissors on that, which is cute. So if you struggle with this kind of stuff, maybe working on this stuff may help deter arthritis. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I just tell myself that to help myself cope with my strenuous finger choreo choices. Anyway, but I like that where he goes and he sends it. He goes a little arrow, ching, and I like that they hopped up. Here we go. And they go, come here. It's definitely There's a lot of egg yolk potential here, right? So I like the kicks on this are really nice, and then we do a little heel twist too, which is also nice. So they cross, toss it down, helps match your music. Really nice, the pulls, and then they do a little Steve Martin is what it feels like, was just a switch off, at least the second half of Steve Martin, which is cool. The drop down, say my name, it goes hey, it goes high to mid, and then everyone goes oh, which we're here for. Good commitment to character. I appreciate the commitment to character in the dance practice space, because a lot of times you're going to have people that are like, oh, I'll go for real on stage. That's too late. I've always been an advocate for that, and I still stand by that. Yes, you could probably perform this on stage, but other things are going to falter, because you're not able to put your attention on those things the way you need to, because you're so focused on something component-wise that you could have fixed in rehearsal. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm curious if you guys have ever thought through that before, or if you dance, you've had a teacher tell you that before. It's too late once you're on stage. Do it in the dance practice space, because for me, it makes me look forward to seeing them on stage, because knowing what it looks like here and how captivating it is here, I can only imagine with the outfits, the costuming, the styling, the LEDs, the vibes of the space, their performance quality. I can just see all of that make this more and more competitive for the competition. So I like that they all did their little poses. I like that they go knock, knock, knock right there. Finger wag, which is also fun. Little heart is nice. He doesn't look awkward in the slightest. I do know he really caters more towards the smexy routines, the sensual routines. We've seen that for most of the performances from him. Seeing him here doing a more gregarious routine like this, more cutesy Aegyo base, he doesn't look awkward. That is a huge advantage for him personally, because that makes him way more versatile, which to me, an interesting component when it comes to survival shows in general is we don't quite know what sound the group that's going to be made is going to consist of, and I think that should be an indicating factor of who's in the group, because if there's people who really tie into a particular niche of sound, I would want that person there if that's the type of sound that the Indian group's going to have. But I will say this, though. If we don't know, when in doubt, find people who are versatile in multiple facets so you get a really nice wide range of discography, which makes you inherently more money, right, in the business side. So having an individual like who we have, who's really known for one particular niche of movement and personality, and then now seeing him here committed, definitely makes him more of an individual that I would have on my radar if I was voting, of like, I really want to make sure that he's in, so I would vote for him. Do you know what I mean? So that's just a little side note. We love it. So having this sort of interlocking moment's really nice. He has a little moment of like, hello there, audience, and then you have your new feature coming out. His twinkle twinkle, so they go walk, and we slowly go. Now, is that a basket run? Debatable. I think because we're matching tempo, I'm going to give that a pass. I think that's fine because we ended up scooping it as well. And then we ended up doing some scoops on one side to another, and then we end up doubling it up on either side as well. So then they bring it forward, so it goes out, and then we end up crossing it, doing it to the other side. Little pickup looks nice too. With the arms, I like this little moment. Pick up, present. Cute. Little head, the turnaround is nice. Big cross, snap it down. Snap side to side looks great. We knock, knock on that stage left side. Little presentation, we drop low. Heart, 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 and heart. Love it. And then he ends up, I think, pumping, just like we saw earlier, right? Yeah. That's cute, because it ties into the gimmick that we saw earlier, but it's repackaged for a different format, but we still got the gist of it. Really cool. Then he says, has this moment, new feature coming around the back. They drop. I love that moment. They go, ha! He says, here we are. And we run, run, run. I think they had so much fun learning this. Side note. Claps are nice. He says, and then we cross, tap behind, say my name, and we said, oh, little heart. Turn out of it's really nice. Same thing as before. Swing the arms. And do a whoa. That's fun. Do the arms out in. Na na na. Clap is nice. Pick up. And then we cross it. Notice stylized hands. We have it more in a loose fist here. In them earlier, we did have it in a more flatter palm situation. Converted to fist. So that was nice. We scuff it. Say my name. And there's our signature little heart situ. I think it's this. Whoa. This. Right? That's cute. The fact he's able to get it semi-even on each side is impressive, honestly. Move to a new spot. Then we have a slow little reveal of Matthew. And they sink the head down. They knock it back up. And they go, They turn. And he's like, oh, let's have a moment. Switch, switch. With the thumbs is really cute. Head nod is also nice. He says, boom, present forward. Really cool. Pickup's nice. Hit. Then we have a shoulder. So that's a sneeze or a simulation of a sneeze. It was great. Clap is nice. Now these little arm swing or arm pumps low do feel similar to like we're pumping up air, like what we were seeing earlier in our 2 other features. So that's really nice. We have the thumbs, shoulders. We have high notes, party of our 2 over on the stage left side. Just say my name. There's your heart. Lots of hearts. And they cut it. Say my name, out, in, and then we go up, up, really nice seeing that there. Then we go toss, toss, out, in, toss, toss, nice little moment, hit, in, same thing as before, nice scuff. Now because of the type of choreography this is and the concept, having a sense of redundancy like this doesn't come across as fatiguing because it feels more, not elementary, but more youthful, and so a lot of times when we associate youth and young individuals, we affiliate to drilling or replication of information. And so that's why, to me, I personally am not fatigued by it because of my association to the concept, to the composition. The hop out of it's really cute. Oh, baby. The kicks are nice. I like the opposition instead of everybody facing front and then having your features show in a different way. You have them literally facing each other, and so we're actually repackaging the content. So don't fix what ain't broke. It's nice. Everyone's having their own moment. So the legs are the same, but the upper body's different. Nice. Bringing it forward, just say my name, clap, clap, clap. Good job clapping on beat. You'd be shocked at how many people don't know how to do that. But they can do so many incredible things. They have a little port-a-bras of the arms, and then you have a little feature. Oh, baby. Then they do a reveal. He said, just say my name. I would say my guy right here, he did really well in just hyping up in the center. I think it's very captivating, his choices. Say my name. Yeah, say my name. He says, oh. Yeah, and they go, say my name. And then they present really cute. It's exhausting, but it's still very cute and very fun. So I can see either this one or the first one kind of duke it out. I don't think it'll be like a super big margin between the two, at least from what I'm seeing. This was really cool. Next, we have En Garde. Let's go. Music is up. Yep. Ooh. Nice. That boom boom. A lot of pops. That's gimmicky. Ooh, that's cool. Wow. Van Gogh doesn't stand out is really commendable to everybody. And I'm not saying it as like he's muted. He's not. This is very interesting, the types of popping integration in this. That's so fun. Yeah, that's exhausting. That was very fun. So, like I said with the first two, this one is a contender as well. Do I think the other two have a leg up in terms of who's on their teams with the amount of popularity that they've received throughout the show? Yes, and I do think it is safe to say that is a genuine component in all of this. It's subjective, right? There is no objectiveness here in how these things are getting scored and who wins, right? When it comes to points, to say people are going to pick who they're going to pick, and that's that. It's unfortunate at times, but also for the sake of, if the end goal is to create a group, you want the group to have the highest amount of synergy and highest amount of money-making capabilities. That's just, a lot of times, Mnet don't make these just out of goodwill. No, they want to make money, right? And so they're going to have whatever narratives they want. They're going to push who they want. A lot of times, for me, everybody is doing such a good job so far on the challenge. I could see anybody take it for different reasons, but I also understand the back end politics where there's going to be, of course, I do think one of those first two, no matter how good these are that we're about to get into, those are going to probably be your contenders because of who's in the routines, right? But this is so fun. Okay, I see why. I think Gonwook really wanted this one, and I see why. Because of the components involved. That is one thing. I just only heard the songs when I was kind of taking my guesses of who would be in what groups, but seeing the choreos, I'm understanding more why some people would be drawn to some more than others. Anyway, so we have our first feature here. So the pull-up is also nice. This right here, that reminds me of Live by Jimin, like how you had those strings or that orchestra involved. I say it more as like a, it's just fun that that's what it reminded me of, not a how dare they plagiarize. Not what I'm saying at all. That's just the first thing that I thought of when I heard this. It's really cool. The lift up's really nice. The sway, it feels like a conducting situation, so he's rotating it through. I like the swing in and swing out from everybody else. They bring it forward. All that. Good for them to get that nice and clean, because a lot of times this isn't the problem, or this, it's this part. This right here and this. So anytime that you're trickling in through a rotation in a way that you're not familiar with, you always run the risk of it not being clean or readable. That is very readable. So good for them for that. The tap forward is nice. They explode it up, which is also nice. Good feature moment from the front. They take it out in, and then they bring it up to the chest. They switch it over to the side. We still have a drop level to help showcase feature here. And they also drop low. And that right there, I hope their tailbones are okay, because I know sometimes you can push it too far and go pop right there on your butt. So hopefully we're safe in that choice, but I like that is how we get into our next feature. He is up. They say, oh, woe is me, as we lay our upper back down to the ground as we slowly come back up. They have a little hook, boom, and the hook causes a trigger with the hips. That's really nice. Good pull of the energy right there with the chest, and they go having it reset to the front once again. They brush to the side, which is also nice. The switch up's cool. They hit, boom, switch off again. They cross, and they toss it. Love it. We're here for it. And then we go boom, boom, boom. So I like the switch off on the arms on that. We pull around, which is also cool. A little crisscross is great. The little scuff pickup is also nice. And then they get it 1 and 2 and 3, and they pull it through. Then they have a little boom, boom, little accent out of that, which is also nice. Then they take it right there up to the inside. Good feature moment. They go da-da-da-da-da-da. Nice tone on that. We bring it out in. So they go forward, and then you have one member be super subtle, not really doing too much, really helps them stand out. Then they go, now this part right here, Gonwook goes super full. Everybody else matches it. Now, whether or not they do that on stage is a different thing, but I'm very impressed by this. That is really hard to do, to get this degree of fullness. Part of it comes from thoroughness of practice. Part of it comes from being influenced and inspired by those around you. And others is honestly just practice, really. Learning how to use your body in an extroverted way like this, very commendable. Everybody gets an A+ for it. Way to go. Love it. The swing is also nice, because if you remember from the Blackpink challenge Kill This Love, Gonwook really stood out, and that was a note I gave in the sense of it's really cool when he's featured, but also it can work against the rest of the group because it feels like not everybody's meeting the expectation of energy that's supposed to be presented because of how they're presenting it to us. But here, definitely gives the impression that we are supposed to go full out. Here you go. We love it. So I like the head rotation on that. This little, it does feel like, I don't know if we're not pulling a sword out, but it also feels like we're playing on a violin or something along those lines. But this is, it's a whole vibe. I like the wrist rotation on that. And bum, 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 that. Whew, goodness on the core for this as we make it super rigid in the transition. That's fun. And then we do the shoulder. That with the rebound. Boom, 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 boom. I mess with that. I love that. That's so cool. And then they sway, and we end up punching it, and then we create a really nice just subtlety in the torso coming out of it, which is really nice. We have a little trace across, which we're here for. Twinkles are nice. Boom. I like the punch is also nice. Then we twinkle it across the eyes. Come on, pulse on the chest. And this right here is such a teasy fun gimmick. I love that. Yeah, knock, knock, right there on the head, but we use the thumb so it has a more subtler approach because we're not really banging the head. We're just, hey, do you remember? You know, it's like a little soft reminder with a little tease. It's cool. Also, this track gives a Gen 2 flair about it. Maybe Gen 3, like beginning era Gen 3. It's just the ba-da-na-na, just how it's structured just has that refreshment of nostalgia for me. So I don't know what the inspiration of it is. Maybe we'll uncover it when I watch the episode portion of it. But that this song's growing on me, and I think that's a component, is some of the things that it's reminding me of. I'm like, oh, I feel the reminiscence of it. They go high to low. They do a little scuff ball change, which is also nice. They take it, they toss it. I like that he does more of a surrendering pose here. Very different in comparison to everybody else's tosses. They take it over. I like they bring it across. New feature, he ends up doing a little scuff chug to the front, which is cool. Everybody faces back, so I like the contrast of our feature to everybody else there. They bring it to the front. Come on now, head nod. He's like, da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't know why that came out of my mouth, but that's cool. He says, okay. The switch off is also really nice, twinkling it through. And he says, reveal, what's up? And then he sits on him, which is really cool. And then we end up doing a pass on or just an add-on of people where more people get interacted, and then we have a little touch right there onto the neck, which is nice. We hit it through. I like the press up. You would expect a wave because of the arm position, but I do like the fact that he created tension instead. Definitely an interesting way to deviate from what we're predicting based on our past experiences with K-pop choreos. So I like how he knocks it down, he presents it to the side, and he re-knocks it, and we toss it up. This is awesome. I love a little shadow reveal here where it feels like he's got two shadows on the side and they're reaching in mirror, and he's reaching up. Super cool, really great way to play with depth in a different plane. And he has a little bleed forward, and then they end up doing a little rotation to help with the transition of everybody else coming on stage. It provides more variety versus them just spreading out. Looks nice. And then they trot it low, and then here we go, same thing as before. Don't fix what ain't broke. It's nice. I don't know if they wished that it was different because it is very full out. The amount of, it's literally you're slamming your body against a wall, but you're stopping yourself right before you hit it, right? So there's like, you're absorbing potential shock. So it's, bless their bodies for this, but they did do a lot of practice to get it consistent in this way. So as much as I'm like, oh, I feel bad for them, part of me is like, it makes it competitive and it makes it really captivating. So I get both. I get both. Yep, all that's nice. And I like that we have hit back, da-da-da. Notice we have the commitment of the head, too. The little whooshing of the fringe is fun. And then you have 3 up, 3 low. That's nice. Oh, that's really nice with your feature. He stayed up, had a little accent moment up top. Everybody else did the original choreography. It looks great there. They do double shoulder. And it looked like double shoulder, and then they ended up making it look like we are inserting a gear and shoving the shoulder more forward there, which is nice. Punch it low, high, and then we hit over. I like this little reveal there, and we punch it, little chest pop on that, and I like that we had more of a connection from our actual feature to the individual next to him. In comparison, everybody else just hovered. It actually made me want to look at the feature more because of that connection. That little whirl sounds really cool, and then we have this whirl. We drop low, really cool, and then we take our hand, boom, little kiss to the front, and I like that it's mirrored. We're here for it. I'm definitely here for this. It's very balanced. I like that we have our hand traveling in different directions. And then they cross over. I like this little compliment. Partnering right here is fun. And then we have another full moment. More and more and more. And walk. Let's go. I like the fact that we didn't have Gungwook solely in the front for that. It allowed other individuals' moments to showcase their fullness as well. Looks great. He twinkles that arm, which is also nice. The slide back is cool. Pas de bourrée is nice. Tension, subtlety there, and I like that you have a high note moment over on the stage right side. It feels like a lot of high notes happen on stage right. Doesn't bother me, but we've already noticed that a couple times. It's kind of fun. So all of that is very interesting. Hit, boom, boom, tension. Hit, boom, boom. Body roll is nice. The pull around, fun ISOs with a drop down. Having your feature stay up, nice reveal. Up, I call that a functional hiding behind an individual. And when you have an even number, that's always a note that I give. When I see too many times in a formation, somebody is covered up in the back. You notice this. A lot of times you'll notice them more at debuts, whether or not that's something that's been factored into the equation, right? So here, that was a functional choice, meaning that it was going to promote a feature reveal in comparison to just supplement him in the back because we wanted to maintain symmetry. So for me, that's fine. Love it. I like the tap in, hit, hit out versus just doing a stereotypical trace across. I like that we presented it forward to the outside. Nothing wrong with the basic trace. I love it. I live for it. But that's also really fun too. So he says goodbye. I like that they ended up actually touching each other to create this reversal effect here is really nice. He says, here we go. And we present forward. Nice. Moment, moment. Drop it low. And the break. Boom. I like the accent. The punch is really fun. And moment, moment, moment. Pas de bourrée is really nice. A sway. And then we have some more tension. Dun, dun, dun. Which is also really nice. Bringing it out in. I like the wrist rotation there. Bum, bum, bum. Shoulder. Same as before. Hit is nice. Notice here that you have one of your guys. It's not a true split center, but you do have a space here so you can actually see your back versus somebody covered up. I appreciate that. I prefer that over it being 100% symmetrical. So energy there is really nice. Out in, twinkling over the eyes. Notice our feature did not do that, so it helps us be able to clock him there. Cool. Here we go. Boom. Da-na-na. Same as before. Da-da-da. Nice. And I like the rebound on that. High, mid, low. Ball change. Hit and toss, we scuff it, and then we hit it, bringing it down to the ground. We get forward to the bottom, to the ground, and then we do a bridge recover as your last thing. Lord have mercy. Then we kick out. Then we have a little en garde. Ding! And then we're done. That would be me on the floor. I bet that's what happened is every single one of them went to the floor. That's exhausting, but that is really, really fun. All of them, 3 for 3 on great choreos for the tracks that were given. Next up, we have Switch. Love it. Now this one, they did have to doctor it up, get some members in it, but they made it pretty competitive with who's in it. Okay. Switch. Hey. Hey. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Wow. BPM change. Lord. It definitely gives, what is it? It's either Lil Mix. I think it's the Lil Mix 5. Oof, that's exhausting. Just like all the other ones. Now, this one I don't feel has the same amount of, what is it? The composition's fine. I do think it takes a more streamlined approach in comparison to, like, the risk-taking or the creative aspect doesn't seem to have as much involved here like in other routines we've seen, but it doesn't discredit the fact that it's still well done in terms of how they have presented themselves. So here we go. From the top, you have a feature right here in the back. You get somebody nice and low. So I like the head, rotation around, makes it look like you have your feature, causing them to actually turn. Then they all drop, nice little body roll to come up. Come on now. Reset. And I like from there how seamless that transition was to get him up. That was really nice. Having your lifts transition that cleanly, love it. Here we go. I like the slide out of it, which is cool. We toss it. The kicks are nice. And we hop down, which is also nice. Travel it through. I like the chest on that too. And then we present to the other side. We kick, really nice. Then we do a little crisscross and we hit it. Rotate the arms up and around. Take the knee, issue it to the inside, and I like that they're interacting subtly there. They get knocked out of the way to the other side. New feature gets revealed from stage left. Then he takes it through. The travel up on the knees is fun. I do think we don't have a ton of levels here as much as what I was used to seeing with other teams. Remember, we're not against any criteria. We are going of direct comparison of how other compositions are structured. As a component here, on top of vocals, on top of a global influence, that's a thing, that's a component, we can't ignore it, as well as the arrangement and the vocal stability, XYZ, right? So I do think that could be an area where I would have wished to see more dynamics, specifically levels, in that way to kind of help break apart a lot of our choices so we can appreciate them more in different ways. But that could just be a preference thing, that's fine. The crisscross is nice, meaning that we just take our arms. It's not a Wu-Tang or anything, but you do see that kind of arm structure like you would do a Wu-Tang. That's fine. Out, in, I like they present out, punch. We pull to the other side, reveal happening right there in center. You did have your first feature over here in the corner, and now we're all hanging out here. I like the punch is nice. We step. It's also great with the shoulders. Nice chest rotation. He goes, nice little twist out of it too. Take the arms out. Come on, kick. We do it with a, what is it, chicken wing, and I like the toss is fun. Yep, here we go. We knock, hit, and up. So notice everyone's still the same level. We haven't dropped a level or anything like that. That is something that can help break this apart, help us more easily identify who our feature is, right? Instead of just relying upon, assistance like tapping the shoulder and little things like that. Travel through, switch, and then the pull over. Yep, little tip-tap-toe out of it, little accent point coming from there. Rotation through, and it definitely feels like a hit them folks, but not a complete one, but just a lift up there. It's fun. Switch, and then we go boom. Okay, swim down is nice, and then we end up taking our knee and transitioning it a little bit more on the leg, and then we go boom. Okay, love that, and then we rotate through. He says boom in airplane, and we go high low. He goes the reach out's really nice. Little heart's cute. We drop it. I really like that we all drop low. And then we have more tension as we raise up. He does a little body. And of course we have more of a rigid little press out. It's not a Campbell walk, but it does have a similarity to it. I'd call it more like a new school variant where they have more of a stiffness on one of the legs. It's cool. We said hello. Nice little head moment there. They travel it through. So we have a nice little interaction between our two and the duet side, but everybody else is doing the same thing. Nothing crazy there. The lift up and around. Heart is fun. There's your column, and they bleed out. This is a fun reveal. I'll take it. We like it. Cool. And then we have a little moment, little head nods. They go, whoa, arms up, toss them down. Then we have a new reveal. Not new reveal, but it's a new feature. Another little interaction with everybody in like an inverted V situation, something similar to that. High to low. That's a functional hiding place for our feature where he was revealed through everybody hinging over, so that was nice. Then we switch it up. And then we sway, sway. And we build up the energy. Burning, 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 burning. And then we have our arms up. Boom, nice accent with the chest coming out of that. And he says, come on now. We have the arms, boom, boom, nice with the accent there, with a punch at the chest. And then we end up doing some sways going in from there. This heart and twinkle away. Nice. Swing, swing with the kick. And then we do a little chicken wing, which is also fun. They're like, all right, here, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Yeah, so if anything, does the choreography influence how this can come across? Always. Choreography matters. So for me, do I think it makes sense why the 3 that were selected were the 3 that were selected by a lot of people, and by you know, I mean, all of them were selected by a lot of people, but I'm saying that those routines where they ended up losing members and this one had to gain members, because this one has a lot of potential in it. I do think how it'll be shot on stage will look fine, but because it's a fixed cam, that's why I like fixed cams, you're going to notice bigger problems, which is there's not a lot of focal point moments that allow me to like sit and chew with it. And the track is fun too. I like it. I just think a lot of components that work against them have nothing to do with them. It just happens to be the type of track that it is. And not everybody selected it. Some came from other groups. So I understand, you know, you're dealing with that uphill battle, especially with Supercharger. But I digress. So that's a component I'm noticing here, where a lot of this is fine, but I think the choreography could have definitely been, there could have been more, I don't know, not gimmick, but more levels, more dynamics. I think that really would have advocated well. Not change content, change how it's presented though. So they go, okay, okay, I like the clump out of it. And he says, okay, nice little personality moment there. Travel it up and around, and the pulls are fun. His size up, here we go. Switch. And then we have a nice little moment here. BPM change, party of us. So we have the knees that help center the energy as we hinge around, which is really nice. So I like his moment there. He goes, really nice. And we go punch, punch, punch. And I like how he punches it forward too, which is cool. The pickup is nice. We hit it through. The kicks are great. We step out and we punch it up and we rotate. And they go da-da-da-da-da. So I like this, kind of call and response energy. I really like it. It's fun. Out in, and we cross and cross, a little lift up there. 2, 3, little add-on. And then we have the head on that. We pull. Then we punch from the back. Now, this is something I'm going to give a note to the choreography team for. The fact that it is, my feature is back here. If he wasn't moving his mouth, I wouldn't have known who was my feature. So that's a note I'm giving to them. That should not be on these boys for showcasing a feature in that way. It should be structured to where I can very clearly see who my feature is. That's your job as a choreographer. So that's my note I'm going to get. And the accent to the outside is fine. Oh my gosh, here we go. And notice I do have a 0.75, but it's pretty fast, right? 1 and 2. So this right here is I've heard it called a bow and arrow. I've heard it called a Barbie. It just depends on who you ask, right? So bring it out. Yep, so all that's fun. Then travel, da-da-da-da-da. And so you hear that do-do-do-do, and we're hitting and traveling it up. It's cool. It would have been cool if, you know, it was an add-on or a break-off, things like that. Rotating it through, the punch high-low, go out in, punch, punch. Then we punch it, boom, rebound to the side. But notice it's all unison. And we knock it, hit, and then we rotate it up. The more unison you do in a choreography, the more susceptible people are going to look at it with a microscope and critique uniformity. Because it's unison, the whole point is to be together, right? So, yep, and then they travel, da-da-da-da-da, switching the feet to help match that da-da-da, bass on that, the punch on that, and then we do a little V-step behind. Oh my gosh. Yep, and then we're back to the BPM we were in. We melt it. High note instead of stage right. We got a high note on stage left. That's fun. No, 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 no. Switch. Then we have a little moment. Really fun. Yep. Little heart. And then we travel it through. Trot, trot, trot. Then we travel it across. Da, 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 da. Okay. Yep, so all that, they just did one big rotation around. Nothing crazy there. That's fun. I like the energy there. Good uses of staging. They take it over and around with the arms, and then they take the leg up, go high and low. The pull-pulls are nice. We present, and it goes switch. It goes out in, and they do the cross, uncross. So they end up going boom, and then we have a nice little lingering finish. And it's tiring, as it should be. Whew. That's one thing all of them do have in common, is they are all exhausting, regardless of the concept. It's tiring because you're doing a lot of movement in a short amount of time, and there is a lot more vocal opportunities, rap opportunities, because we do not have as many people involved in the competition. So this was fun. I don't see this as a top contender just based on what we're seeing here on the dance side. Even if everybody went in an ideal format, everybody competed very well, that I would say the cards fall similarly to who I've been saying would fall with thus far. We're finally here with Supercharger. I think this one is the one I was most looking forward to seeing. Let's go. Ooh. Look at our rapper, Chonky. I forgot Takuto was in this. That shows how well he's blending in right now. I mean, he's not on stage right now, but I'm telling you. Completely forgot he was in this. Come on! Woo! I'm so proud of them. Wow, most improved award. Takuto gets most improved award. Lord help us. I'm so proud of him. Talk about growth. Growth, man. Okay. Wow. Good for them. That is tough stuff. And they did very, very well. Now, I'm going to analyze this, and then I'm going to give you my ranking of who I think is going to, like, the placement of these routines just based off of these videos that we're seeing here. But we're going to appreciate this right here. From a viewer standpoint, I am so proud of this group because it's basically all the people that were kicked out of their groups. And you only have one person that was a part of the original lineup, and he was filthy. This was, they should be so proud of this. Now, I do think there's a couple more dynamic choices that could have helped on a lot of the unison sections. That could have helped break it up a little bit more to give them more breather moments. But I would say this one's on a better playing field than the one we just watched was. I mean, both were fine, don't get me wrong. I think this one is very fatiguing because of the way you talk. It's not really a rap. It's you're talking and singing, and it's not really singing, right? And that's the tricky part about it. Whew, okay, here we go. We start from the top, rotate our head. He says, we're getting ready to work. They don't look like they're faking it, which is also really nice. I think that's great because you can sometimes tell you're like, oh, you're out of your element. He doesn't look out of his element at all here. That's impressive. Way to go. Bring it in. We pull on the A. We knock it. Love the head on that. We drop it low. We hop. Shoulder rolls are nice. And I like that your feature, he was up, different level. And he ends up tossing the arms one side to another. Looks great there. Head knock is nice. We take it, little V-step with tension. Here for that. And we go, do-do-do-do. I like the drumming percussion on that. We hit, doom, whoa. Wrist rotation to bring it up. Cool. Out in, and we do a little slide. And we go march. I love those types of transitions with these arm swings. They're really fun. And we bring it out, rotating it around. We knock, nice and low, really cool. He hits it over. Ta-da. Good tension. Finishing it out. Good speed change, and there's a lot of these little rotations happening that can get lost. It did get a little lost here, but it is what it is. It's fine. That's more of a choreography note. Yes, it go percussion, wrist rotation, peel it out, and then we point it over you, and it goes you, and I like that little switch off. I put this exact little sequence there, just different arms in a choreography recently. It's a good transition. It's a good way to switch your weight from one side to another. They punch it, boom, with the elbow, really nice there. They do a little driving. They say, what? Into a little nay-nay. Come on now. And the pickups there. I do think some of us could use our back a little bit more, but I understand because he is singing that you have to pick your battles. And for him, my goal for him would be to work on being able to still hold a note, still have that tone, but use this. It's hard. But for the amount of time that they had compared to other teams that did not have to relearn choreo from the jump, from the get-go, like them, they are hanging in with everybody else. It's really nice. They hit, they melt it down. Ooh, and then I like having a feature appear from the back, the side through. They melt. I love this choice where they go, they finish out. He goes underneath. The reach is fun. Good little tension body roll coming up. And we switch it off. Good cannon. The hit down. That's a really fast cannon. Guys, that was fast to read, and it's at 0.75. That's a fast cannon. But they did a really good job making it readable. They push those arms back to drop it low. We have a little tap. Come on now. The lift up's nice. Here we go. Reverse rotation, and then we present it in. They hit it over. Dun, dun. Da, 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 da. Baseline. Boom. Hit. Punch. Hit. Boom. Boom. Then we bring it in. Love that. And then we go Supercharger. So it goes super, then body roll charger, and then they go again. Super. So there's a lot of these where the head starts wherever it's setting. It's like it's an articulated snake is kind of the best way to word it, meaning it's itemized where you can, it's like subtle isos, but they're all connected. So it's like a, you know, like those toy snakes that have all of these little components that are all connected, that, you know, I don't know the best way to call it, but yeah, that would be the equivalence of what we have for that, where they hit it, where everything you can see itemized, but it's still a one solid motion. So that's cool. Then they end up, oh my gosh, mirroring it, and then they do presentation out using the pecs to make that really full. Chargers, go high to low. Now this part, it does look like we are hiding somebody for the sake of symmetry. That'd be a note I give to choreography team. I advise against it on the competition side because I want to see, I think it's just more competitive for people, especially in an even number. Have everybody be seen as much as possible. And so it doesn't look functional quite yet. They go Supercharger. It's low-key giving this kind of energy, right? I think that's kind of funny. And then they do a little ball change switch off there. Supercharger, all that. And I like the little thread through is really nice. Then it goes into an inverted V. They hit it out, boom, 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 with the basses, where they bring it in, travel it up, present it out, and they low. And now it's turned into a functional choice. So I do think if he was revealed earlier, I think would be fine, but I'm still going to give it the note to the choreography team, not to the members. 9 times out of 10, any note that I give is going to go towards other elements, not the people that are competing, because all they can do is practice and do their best, right? So I think that's fine. Partner moment. This one has a lot of room for really high performance value. If the stage and the costuming and the lighting really work for it, I really do think it can work well, because out of all the tracks, this one was my favorite, and I still like it. It's cool, but I think the choreography, there's not a ton of creativity, similarly to the last one that we were talking about, like I said, in the same way as the other contenders like En Garde and Say My Name and Over Me. Those three, I think, are the most competitive in composition, setting up the groups for success. This one, I would say, would be, it's like an in-between, right? And then we have your last one that I feel could seek some major improvement on breaking up that uniformity a lot. So anyway, to hit it down, Takuto coming in hot. Wow, huge progress. He doesn't look that awkward compared to Ali. I'm curious as to how he's going to come across on stage. Gosh, I'm really excited for that. Here we go. Come on, Ali. And does he end up having a healed arm by stage? I'm not sure. It's all taped up or all bandaged up here. Don't know. Come on, Chonky! Love that, the turn out of it. We trot it, boom, and then we bring it low. And then they end up taking a little scuff and bringing it in. So I like the different levels on that with some skating is nice. They said boom, 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 and they punch it out. And come on with a hitch kick. Everybody comes back in. He's here. Nice little moment. Salute, salute. So I think this one's the biggest in terms of like, yes, you have some people from other teams that are branching out and trying something new. This one literally is. You have a lot of people that are engaging in a concept that you would never see them do or be successful at, right? So that, to me, that's a huge success here. Love it. They bring it through. I like his little brush away. That's a vibe. And we push it away, which is nice. He hits it, and then we create tension to bring it down. Come on, knee slide. He has his moment. Party of us. We love it. Love the breath on that. Letting his arm control them there. We move away, away, away. Love all of that. Before we move on. Love it. On. And he's nice. Look at that. He just sat. He said, I am seated. Yes. He's got a good tone for that. That works. The push, the punch on that, the boom, full power. So there's this rigidness to it, which is cool. Punches are nice. Supercharger, all that. It's an inverted V. We still have somebody hidden behind, right? And I like that we are facing different directions for it. So it's a nice way to be reintroduced to it. Supercharger. Charger. I really am curious of how their knees feel and their feet feel, because sometimes when you step that hard, you can send a surge of like pain through your leg because of where you're placing that weight. Supercharger. Love that. It's cool. Supercharger. The punch there, and then go Supercharger. Love that choice. Come on, thread through, bringing it low. Yeah, day and night, and then we have the little punches going in there. We turn out of it, which is nice to look over. Notice that when they look, where do we want to look? Where they're looking. Boom. Look at our feature. Walk it through like he owns the place. Then they're walking on tempo to get in line, and I like that it's now turned into an add-on. That's cool. So the arms rotate them around, we pull through, and then we have a fun feature coming from the back end. That's a really nice way to have bookend features. That's cool. He punches and it causes a ripple. Way to integrate your feature back in. And then they do a reach. He extends the arm around. And then they look to the side. He does an arm bleed around, high, low, and he turns out of it. Yes. And then they end up condensing it to a column. Oh, the pass off on the features for this was really, really cool. That's a cool composition choice. Good job, choreographers, for that. That was nice. Wrist rotation on that. Present the hands. Love that. Come on now. Oh! That little shing. I wonder if he's going to have a real lighter. That would be sick if he did. Oh! And bring it all in. And the pickup there, notice with the arms, we have them moving from one side to another with the pick of the leg is all nice. And then we do progress the torso upward too, so it elevates the level. Supercharger, punches are nice, charger, supercharger, all that there with punches, and then we do a little ball change to reset. Come on, add on. Yep, so it goes hit, I think it's up, out, forward. Ooh. Nothing, out, forward. It does give a little bit of a crump essence. Is this my crump guy? Maybe? I don't remember who my crump guy is, but he's giving a little bit of energy there. Maybe, I don't know. So we bring it over, boom, charger, over one side to another, helps tie into the first time we heard supercharger. Bring it in, nice little gimme 5, we dab it up, and we pop off. Come on now. This right here, he needs to freaking stop. I love his choices. Look at this. It's a monastery. He said monastery. Ugh, the filth on that with the accent on the second one's really cool. Then we end up doing a kick out, and then we do a pelvic thrust on that. We punch it up. We hit baseline. Boom. Come on now. And does a little shoot to help transition everybody forward. Supercharger. So we go out in like we're plugging in a charge. Body roll, 2 to the back. Hardest part about that is getting all the hinges to match despite height. So that would be the one thing I'm curious if they cleaned up for stage. Yep. And they go hit, boom, knock it up. And we finish low. Yeah, exhausting. That's called we're gritting our teeth and working hard. All of them are, but lordy, shout out to them for that. Okay, how would I rank these? I would do top 2 is going to either be Over Me or Say My Name. One of those. And then I was at, what is it? We have En Garde, Over Me, Say My Name, Supercharger, and Switch. So those are 5. I think Switch will be last. Supercharger will be 4th. En Garde 3rd. I think Say My Name may have just, when you think about quantity of members who are in top, like in that top, I think Say My Name has more. So I can see Say My Name take top spot. Second will be Over Me, but I think those should be close. En Garde, I can see pull up with them, but I think those two, because of who's in them, because that matters a lot, especially now. I think that matters. So my official guess is going to be first place is Say My Name, second place is Over Me, third place is En Garde, fourth is Switch. Nope. Fourth is Supercharger, fifth is Switch. If we're going solely off of what we're seeing here, and remember, I'm only going off of composition and their performance quality here. Things can change, mistakes can happen, certain essence and environments can heighten and really make these shine. There's a chance Supercharger can pull up to third. I see the potential there. Do I think off of difficulty, not difficulty of composition, complexity and captivation and digestibility of composition, the top 3 are the top 3 for me. When it comes to my preferences of choreo, Supercharger is still one of my favorite tracks, though. All of these freaking hit. I really, really like the Over Me choreography a lot. From the usage of prop, I can see the prop go wrong, but I can also see it go right. So I really think it depends on your audience, and I'm just going to go politics for the top 3 for that. But also top 3 were top 3 and great in the choreography sense. And then Switch and Supercharger, the difference is composition for me and who's in these groups as well. I think is kind of the way I'm wording it. But if I'm going off of like who's the most improved, Supercharger, 1000%. Takuto, 1000% most improved of everybody on Boys Planet that I've seen thus far. He has excelled far beyond what he has shown, and I'm so excited to celebrate his progress here and being able to see so many different people try a rap roll, right? Or try a more gregarious, happier toned routine from what we saw in Say My Name. I just think this is a really good challenge, and I love reviewing challenges like this because to me the rankings really don't matter. I know it matters because of points and receiving benefits of points, but I truly believe a good challenge is when everybody brings their best there's nothing to do but celebrate. And that makes my job easy because I get to just sit back and enjoy it. Like, I really get to enjoy this challenge because we have this. There's going to be more extra material that I look at. I know there's a couple like fun versions of these dance practices that were released. That'll be a separate video only on Patreon for you to enjoy, and I'll be looking at the episode on Patreon too. I'm saying all this in hopes that this makes its way onto YouTube. If it does, hi. If not, what's on Patreon? I'm excited for the feedback from everybody on what your thoughts were. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong or whatever. I'll probably find out here pretty soon on who won what, but this is going to be so fun. You guys know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.